talk about health, wealth, and peace of mind. And I'm really excited to have you here with my special guest, Hugh Ballou. And you heard all about him in the amazing bio. That's why I want you to pay attention and make sure you subscribe. Click the button so you can get updated on all the new shows that are coming. And we've got a lot of great guests coming through. And honored to be here with Hugh to talk about leading for legacy. And I always ask my guests, if this was a mastermind, what would you name the show? So this is his title. And I want to ask you and welcome you. Hugh, glad you're here with us and tell us about why you chose Leading for Legacy.
Well, thank you, Kris, for having me here. I'm honored. The work we do is important. And if it's important, we want to leave it to continue long after we're gone. So that's a legacy. It's leaving it better than we found it. So you help people build a financial base so they can continue the legacy of what they've started. So we as leaders impact people's lives. And in our motto in Center Vision, we transform leaders, transforming organizations, transforming lives. That's the end game. We want to impact people and influence them to do better.
That's fabulous. And you wrap around some, I think it's such a design because I started a nonprofit and it's just like a shell. I mean, without having this kind of instruction, you take it to the next level where you talk about strategic planning, fundraising, board development. This is information that you just can't get out of a book. I mean, the depth of it, right? I mean, there's so much wisdom inside of what you do. And so in being a leader and showing people how to, I call it a living legacy. So to take the wonderful things that you're doing now and create them so they have longevity. So how do you tell people how to wrap around that? How do they start around that?
Well, we have an idea, and we're social entrepreneurs in the nonprofit world. And as entrepreneurs, you're a social entrepreneur, you're impacting people's lives in a positive way. And so we've got an idea. Well, that's not enough. We do good. That's not enough. We have a valuable product or service or event. That's not enough. What we have to do is create a system so that we can take our idea and let it live. So in Center Vision, our specialty is integrating strategy into performance. Now, not everybody even has a strategy. It's like the music score for the conductor. I have the score and everything that's going to happen is written down. Now, there's a lot of misconceptions about why that's important, but it's a framework and a roadmap. So everybody is on the same page. Everybody's playing in the same key. Everybody's moving in the same direction. Otherwise, leaders set up conflict. So we've got our idea. It's going to make the world a better place. It's going to help people live better lives. Now, just because we have the idea doesn't make it happen. So creating a legacy is the system that people can install in their organization. I have a leadership system that people can install and they can run it. It's like you get a car. Well, you have to learn how to drive the car. You're going to build a car. That's the strategy. You're going to build a car. You're going to put the passengers in there. That's your team. You're going to learn to drive in between the lines. That's the skill set. But now you got to put gas in the tank. That's the money part of it. So all of that's the system. That's oversimplification. But we create a system that's going to continue and empower other people long after we live. Is that what you wanted to know?
Yeah, that's exactly it. The system, and that's what I see in a lot of businesses and nonprofits that are missing. They think that they just get the book and they fill it all out, and they don't have the system to do strategic planning or fundraising. And you really have a fast track there because, I have to throw this in there. I mean, what was it, 40 years you were conducting a symphony, right, in Pennsylvania? Is that where?
Well, I worked in church music in the Southeast,
Okay.
Georgia, Florida, Alabama. In every place I worked, I hired a major orchestra because I had a big venue and a lot of singers. So, choral conductors have to have the orchestra chops. So when you put a whole group behind you, you really have to have your act together. And so here's me on the podium, and where I live, actually, that is a symphony. It's not a church gig, it's a concert, so chorus, orchestra, et cetera, et cetera. So you have to have clarity of where you're going for people to be able to follow.
That's so inspiring to me because I'm a singer songwriter, and music is the energetic thing that moves my life. And so, but conducting, and I have an a cappella choir too, but what you do is at another level because you have a lot of different instruments or voices or things that you're doing at the same time. And that's a strategic mind. And that's what the kind of mind that you have when you have a nonprofit, right? Because you have all these different things and it's easy to go down rabbit holes and have a strategy that's going to give you a map to where you're going, right?
And actually, I work with business leaders, entrepreneurs, and multi-cap size businesses. It's really the same thing. It's installing sound business principles. We're running a church or synagogue, it's the business of church. If we're running a nonprofit, it's the business of a nonprofit. It's always harder in the social benefit, the nonprofit world, than it is in the business world. There's a lot more barriers, a lot more rules, but it's fundamentally us empowering people under our direction to perform as an ensemble. That's the root of the word synervision. In music, we come together, we transform players or singers into an orchestra or choir, then we transform them into what we call an ensemble where they function together over time. And so as we build our teams, we transform them into the synergy of that ensemble. And I call that synervision. It's the synergy of the common vision of the leader.
That is so cool. I think that's so inspiring, just the name in itself. And then inside of that, in that foundation, you have all kinds of collaborative community things going on in there. Maybe unwrap that a little bit for us.
Absolutely. Synervision Community. Synervision is SYNERVISION. Synervisioncommunity.org is a place where leaders, board members, or business people, and community leaders, nonprofit leaders, nonprofit board members, clergy, boards, people come together in the community and we network with peers. And you've been in networks, we help each other out. We share ideas. We help the world become a better place because we're collaborating together. I have 10 self-study programs, but we facilitate leading cohorts, leadership cohorts, where we get a group of people together and we decide we want to develop this skill set. The number one complaint I get is my board doesn't function. And this is in business or nonprofit. My board doesn't function like I want them to. Well, it's not their fault. Look in the mirror. If the orchestra is not performing like the conductor wants, look in the mirror. So it's we get the results that what they see is what we get. What they understand is what we get. So if it's not happening, maybe we're not clear. So work on yourself first. Always work on yourself, always be moving forward. So we have the learning cohorts, we have the community that's free, we have a community that's got a low entry point for cost, and people can network together and have live workshops and masterminds and conversations. So there's lots of places where we can learn together and work together because we all feel alone. Nobody wants to work alone. And it's a hard gig that we have, but let's not make it any harder than it already is.
Exactly. And working together, I mean, the two or more gathered principle is igniting. You know, and I've been blessed to do a lot of wonderful things, but they are a lot better when they're shared and they quantum, they expand and being in a community and being able to share back and forth with like-minded people, there's nothing like it. And so when I found out about Center Vision and what you're doing, I was very excited because honestly, I have a nonprofit I started a few years ago called Shifting Legacies, where I'm taking all of the wisdom I've been blessed with in the healthy money and converting it into programs to teach people because nobody really knows about money, healthy money, and how and what to do, and go to places that are underserved and be able to share and how to do all that. But I didn't have the plan. I didn't have the roadmap. I just had the idea, and that's why I got attracted to what you're doing because you have the whole picture, not just the idea. And I think a lot of people are like me. They've got great idea, and how do you turn the dream? I think you've said this before, right? So you actually get paid for it. It's monetized, and you can actually continue.
We attract money because we give value. Whether you're in business or a nonprofit, we receive money because there's value. And to your point, we've created a system in Center Vision. It's not about just doing strategy or just about learning leadership or learning team development. It's a whole system with a lot of moving parts. When I drive my car, it turns on, all these parts function, lots of computers, lots of lights, lots of things happening. They're all important. They keep me on the road. They keep me going. And so that's the enterprise that we run. It's hard to run a nonprofit. It's hard to run a business, but nothing happens without leadership. And we reach a plateau, and that's as good as the business or the nonprofit is going to get until we raise the bar on our own performance.
You've covered so many things in it, like strategic planning, fundraising, board development, self-study, becoming a better leader. I like this one, the unbound leader, unlocking your inner potential to convert dreams to income. And that's what we were just talking about. And the transformation, you're on it. I mean, I just got your email today, and inside of it said, reframe perceived failures into learning opportunities and realize you are your best teacher, right? Right.
I'm glad you read it. I'm writing for you. I send out these messages and I hope people read them. So thank you. You've affirmed that, yeah, somebody's reading them.
Yeah. And they're inspiring because this morning I had, a little crash and was like, okay, this is just, instead of, beat yourself up, it's just how you do it better. And it's the same thing for yourself or with your business or your nonprofit. And a nonprofit is really just like a business, right? It's just got a different tax structure
And more rules. And if
and
people
more
say to me,
rules.
I don't know anything about business running organization, like they're apologetic. Well, you're not supposed to know that. You're an expert in the subject matter, feeding people, housing people, clothing people, whatever you do,
Right.
that's your expertise. So partner with people like me that help you put the other pieces together. When I served at a 12,000 member church, this was a corporate job. It was pretty high pressure. I determined my job as director of music was 10% music. Now that's the Ballou 1090 rule. 10%, you help people with their money. That's 10% of your business. 90% is all the stuff all the infrastructure, all the marketing and delivery systems, all of that lets you help people. So music wouldn't happen without all the infrastructure. Having the results you want, it's in your mind, but you don't know there's a lot of moving parts. 90% of what you need, you don't know. And so having an advisor to help guide you through that, and we say, oh, that's too structured. I don't have time for that. Well, wait a minute. If you don't spend the basic time, you're not going to achieve your goals and impact people's lives. So spend a few minutes, do the heavy lifting on the front, create a system. You'd be surprised how it, like that unblocked, you're unlocking your potential when you do the structure. And if you do one thing at a time, we help people do one little thing at a time. And when you look back, we've done a lot of stuff because we did just a few minutes here and there. So let me go back to what I said a minute ago. It's hard work. Let's not make it harder than it already is.
Right. Good point. And that's what we don't know if we're trying to figure it out ourselves. Right? Oh.
We call those blind spots. Now, I'm,
Oh,
I'm a coach. I'm a leadership coach. I have a leadership coach. I help people do fundraising. I have a fundraising coach. We need somebody, not us, that's not as close to things to help us realize what it is we don't know, our blind spots.
right. So you, a man of wisdom, have surrounded yourself with people of wisdom, right?
That's the secret. If you're the best person on your team, get a new team.
Yeah. Good one. Good one. You've got so much going on. We'll probably have to come back again and drill down on certain things. But inside of your foundation, your Center Vision Leadership Foundation, you've got a lot of levels where people can come in and listen and or participate. Can you break that down a little bit on what
Sure,
how
sure.
I can get involved or someone could get
Yeah.
involved?
You can go to nonprofitcommunity.org, and that's the free portal just to start your journey. And then you meet people and you see, okay, there's more things I need to learn. And then you'll get an invitation to be an influencer member, and that's $40 a month. But as soon as you sign up, you get $300 worth of programs, which you can download and keep, even if you quit. You have lots of resources. Now, people say, I don't have time to do a course. Well, okay, but you've got a library now. And you say, well, how do I do this? You look in your library. Oh, that's how I write goals. You pull it down and you've got a guide. I like a guide. I don't necessarily have to do it that way, but it gives me a structure to figure out how I want to do it. Remember what you said a minute ago, we don't know what we don't know. And so I want to give people a structure. So you get all of this content and it's your library. You can put it in your own system and you have it when you need it, because you're not going to need, we like to take these courses and we go through sequentially, but life doesn't unfold sequentially. So I've made it available for you to have these documents. You can write on them, print them out, you can use them digitally, and you can use them when you need them. Because eventually, I've been doing this for 34, going on 35 years, and you're going to need this stuff, because I know from the School of Hard Knocks, sometime you're going to need it, but you don't know when you're going to need it. And so you have random access to all of these resources, which took me a 40-year career to create.
That's what a gift. I mean, I just feel it's a gift that we've connected. There's so much to learn. It's exciting. One of the things that you do talk about is building the 5 pillars of a successful business. I know we can't get into it all, but maybe you could just give us like a little overview of what you consider the 5
Yeah,
pillars.
we start up a nonprofit and we say we're doing worthy work. People are going to give me money. Well, people have a lot of options. There's a lot of good programs. What makes
Right.
you different and than others, and why should people? So, building your strategy identifies the competencies you're going to need on your team. Going to talk about the benchmarks. Going to talk about the road. So, without a strategy, you're doing all these tactics in the absence of a sequential plan, and you might have so many things going on. They're confusing people and actually distracting from your job. So putting them in sequence is your strategy, building your skill, building your team, building your finances. You need to keep track of it. If people don't have the confidence that you're using the money wisely, we are stewards of other people's money in nonprofits. If we're not using the money wisely, it will repel donors. And so the finance piece, there's also eight, count them, 8, both hands, streams of revenue. You can start right away. And as you go, you can add 2 more. So there's plenty of ways to earn money. Donations is one of 8. We think grants are going to be great. Grants are very competitive. So there's lots of ways. So it's not likely that all 8 are going to dry up at once or slow down at once. So you need to diversify. If you have one stream of income, there's 100% chance you'll go broke. You need to have diversity in income. And then the last one is your support system. If you don't have a coach, you need a coach. If you look at the most successful people in any field, athletes, movie stars, you look at any field, they have a coach. Many times they have multiple coaches. So we think we're going to do it on our own. Okay, how long do you have to live to figure it all out? You could, with the right match, the right coach that fits you and fits what you want to do and has been there, you can get there a lot faster and less heartburn, less wasted money and time. So that's the 5 pillars.
That's hot to trot. And we only have so much time. And if you've noticed, it seems like it's speeding up. So this is just like a plug and play where you can just plug into the wisdom, right? It's all there. I mean, never have to go look anywhere else. This is, I've arrived. I know. Okay, my nonprofit is going to go somewhere. People that are just starting out can tap into this wisdom. I'm really excited about everything you're talking about, and maybe you could just tell people how to be in contact with you and share anything you might want them to click on or go to. Right.
Well, you can find me, and I'm going to test it out. I think it's contacthugh.com.
Okay.
It's my link tree. It says the Cinevision community, the Nonprofit Exchange podcast, which Kris Miller will be on very, very soon. and my Twitter, and is book a call with Hugh. I can give you a short call. You've got a challenge, you got an idea, brainstorm with me. And it's not a sales call. It's a call where I can give you value. So all of those, contacthugh.com, contact Hugh, Hugh, that's Hugh.com. That'll take you, then you can find me.
That's fabulous. I mean, you're just right there, open to connect, and I talk a lot about this when I'm talking about healthy money planning with people. And it happened to me about midlife. Very successful business, and then I just felt like I need to give back. After you reach a certain point, then it becomes like it's about others and how you can give your gift to others. So I changed my business model. The minute I put give back as a foundation, and it was before my nonprofit, as a foundation of my business, then all of a sudden, my business partner and we went into the inner cities and we did a lot of charitable things that, that everybody should be doing. It's not a pat on my back. It should be a normal, right?
If you're a business leader and you don't serve on a nonprofit board, it's time to step up. It's called philanthropy. It's the love of humankind. And it's not, we think philanthropists are people that are multimillionaires that write big checks. Well, it's time, it's talent, and last of all, it's money. So you got time and talent, and if $1 or $2, you can do all three of those. So there's a reciprocity, like you point out, there's a reciprocity to giving, and it's powerful.
And I got so excited about it when I jumped into the C-suite and the mastermind inside of there. All of a sudden, God just downloaded the vision of my council, which is called Conscious Giving Council. And of course you're one of the anchors in it, because I kept seeing this vision of they're printing all this money and it's just flying around, right? So why not get the wind of the spirit to move that money into channels where we literally do change the world and do good, right? That's the idea.
Absolutely. It takes all of us. There's a lot of work to be done.
There is, and we're gathering together and making it happen and changing the world. And with Hugh, it's true, right? It's all for you.
Thank you.
Really. Hugh, it's been a real honor and a joy to talk to you, and I'm excited to continue on. Thank you so much for joining us today.
It was my pleasure. Thank you, Kris.
There's so much to learn about healthy money. I hope today's discussion brings you one step closer to securing and protecting your future. So you can get started on the right foot, go to meetwithkrismeller.com and schedule your free financial fitness strategy session. Thank you for listening, and please subscribe to Money 911 so you don't miss our next episode, which includes health, wealth, and peace of mind.